Eileithyia, the compassionate goddess of childbirth and labor. In ancient Crete, where the mountains kissed the sky, there stood a sacred grove dedicated to Eileithyia, the goddess who guided women through the trials of childbirth. The grove was silent, except for the soft rustle of leaves, and at its center, a marble altar shimmered with offerings left by those who sought her favor. Eileithyia often walked among mortals in disguise, her ethereal presence hidden beneath the humble form of a healer. She listened to the prayers of mothers-to-be, felt their fears, and eased their pain when the time came. One fateful evening, Eileithyia was resting in her divine abode when a desperate prayer reached her ears. It came from Callista, a young woman in a remote village. Callista's labor had begun, but something was wrong. The midwife had done all she could, and the village was too far from the city for help to arrive in time. Eileithyia felt the urgency in the woman's voice. Without hesitation, she descended to the mortal world, her radiant light softening into the glow of an ordinary lantern as she approached the small cottage where Callista lay. The air inside was thick with worry. Callista's husband, Theron, paced nervously while the midwife murmured prayers. Callista herself was pale and trembling, her pain etched across her face. In ancient Crete, the goddess Eileithyia descends to aid a struggling mother in labor, intertwining divine compassion with human strength and ultimately blessing the village with new life. "I am a healer," Eileithyia said, stepping into the room. Her voice was calm and soothing, instantly drawing the attention of everyone present. "Let me help." Eileithyia knelt beside Callista, placing her hands gently on the young woman's swollen belly. She whispered ancient words of power, her divine essence flowing into the laboring mother. The tension in the room seemed to ease, though the task ahead remained arduous. As the hours passed, Callista's strength began to wane. Eileithyia knew she must intervene directly, but her divine touch would need to be carefully measured. Too much would harm the mother, too little would leave her to struggle. She called upon her sacred powers, weaving a delicate balance of pain and relief, guiding Callista's body through the natural rhythms of birth. "You are strong, Callista," she whispered. "Your courage will bring your child into the world." Unbeknownst to Eileithyia, her mother, Hera observed from Mount Olympus. Hera, often jealous and protective of her own authority, frowned upon Eileithyia's frequent descent to aid mortals. She believed that humans should endure their trials without divine intervention. Hera sent a fierce wind to shake the cottage, hoping to distract Eileithyia. The walls creaked, and the lamps flickered, but the goddess remained undeterred. She shielded Callista and the others from the storm with her will, her focus unwavering. Realizing her attempt had failed, Hera reluctantly relented, though she watched closely, her pride wounded by her daughter's defiance. As dawn broke, Callista gave one final push, and the cry of a newborn filled the room. Tears streamed down her face as Eileithyia placed the child, a healthy baby girl, into her arms. "She is strong, like her mother," Eileithyia said, her voice warm with pride. The midwife and Theron marveled at the smoothness of the delivery, knowing they had witnessed something extraordinary. Callista looked up at the goddess, her eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you," she whispered. "What is your name, so I may honor you?" Eileithyia smiled softly. "I am but a humble helper. Your strength brought her into this world." With that, she slipped out of the cottage, her divine glow briefly illuminating the path before her. In the days that followed, news of the miraculous birth spread throughout the village. Callista named her daughter Eileia, a tribute to the mysterious healer who had saved them. The villagers began leaving offerings at the local altar to Eileithyia, recognizing the goddess's hand in their lives. From the heavens, Eileithyia watched with quiet satisfaction. She knew her work was not done. Elsewhere, more mothers would need her aid. But in this moment, she felt the fulfillment of her purpose, the sacred duty of bringing life into the world, one birth at a time. This story showcases Eileithyia's role as a compassionate and dedicated goddess, balancing divine intervention with respect for human strength.